Today is October 22nd, 2021. This is episode 170 of Maelstrom Radio.
Maelstrom Radio. With your hosts, Gladys and Shitter.
And welcome everybody to Maelstrom Radio. My name is Peter. With me, as always, my good friend and co-host Quinton. Welcome back, friend.
Hi. Hi, welcome.
So you've been gone.
Sorry.
And I had Anonymous and Saron in your absence.
You did. Yes, I heard that was quite a show.
It was fun. It was a lot of fun.
I would expect nothing less with Moose and Sarah.
So, we had many a show title last week.
I picked it
You did pick it. You're the one that picked the show title.
with no context.
Nope. I thought maybe you were gonna lean towards Why is Scythe Man? But I feel like Drop It Like It's Hot is probably the best.
That was a great one, yeah. So for context here, I had a few options. I've lost the options.
No.
We'll find them later.
There was a few. There was a lot.
We've had there wasn't too many options. Okay, here we are. We had Eureka Bell, hashtag Gaius Rules, Drop It Like It's Hot, Why is Scythe Man, Genocide, Meh, and Fantasy Australia.
Fantasy Australia. I forgot about Fantasy Australia. I like Fantasy Australia. Also,
my ranking of them was going to be Drop It Like It's Hot, hashtag Gaius Rules, and Fantasy Australia with no context.
By the way, Eureka Bell. This is now the Eureka Bell. So anytime somebody says Eureka,
Right?
we ring that.
Thought Eureka was more like a. There's already a noise for Eureka. It's in game.
You don't understand. Like that was really grinding Moose's gears. Yeah. So welcome everybody in chat. By the way, I'm happy that you're spending your Friday with us. You can spend it anywhere, but you're spending it with us. But let's get up to what we've done this week, which for me was more Zadnor. I'm almost done. I have 1 level away from Dalriada and then finishing the story out. So pretty good. Almost there. And yesterday, more Little Nightmares, which by my guesstimate, as long as I keep jumping okay, we should be able to finish next week. So
It's a pretty big ask.
Game is fun. It's a lot of fun. So I broke a.
You did. You broke one of the chef
things.
Yeah,
I broke it.
Yeah, I don't know how else to describe them.
And then this is our week now. This is what we're doing now. We're doing this.
Yep.
Oh, we had D&D this week. That's right. We went back to D&D.
We did. We didn't fight anything though.
No,
we did level up.
We did.
And we did some talking, and we kind of something bad's about to happen.
Yeah, for sure. Chili rolled so good he got a monocle. So let's.
It's true. Free monocle.
That's pretty much our week. That was our week.
I got my Black Mage to 75.
Oh, congrats!
Still don't know how to play it. Got it to 75. Yeah,
that sounds accurate for me in Black Mage as well. I've not got it to 75, but I have no idea what I'm doing.
I'm getting it to 7. I'm getting it to 80, and that's it. Like I'm just trying to get it to 80.
To 80, yeah.
So I mean, I was 70 at the beginning of the week, so I think 5 levels in a couple of days was pretty reasonable.
That's pretty good, yeah. That's pretty good.
Yeah, a couple roulettes and the fairy quests.
Yeah. Also, if I don't know if you know, but if you do your Wondrous Tales, that gives you a guaranteed half level. Like whatever.
That's where half my XP came from. Yep.
Nice. All right.
And I have another one ready for this week again too, because I got
Perfect.
mine in on Monday. So
Yeah.
I'll be able to get it closer to 80. And once it's 80, we're never touching it again. I do not know how to play Black Mage. Do not have fun playing Black Mage, but I need them all so I get the Amaro mount. And that is the last mage I need. Then I'll have all the casters, healers, and ranged.
All right. Well, let's jump.
Yeah.
Is that it? I mean, I feel like I've done.
That's pretty much it.
I've progressed more in Final Fantasy story-wise than you have. So.
I mean, MSQ I've done. I just haven't touched Bozja or Eureka.
Yeah. Bozja's storyline's so good, though. And then I found out.
Otherwise, we're pretty much equivalent in the Crystal Weapon theory or the Gaius, whatever that series is called. Sorrows of
World
something. Yeah, that one. And we're both, I think, in the same place in the raid series. So
yeah. Almost there. So let's jump into the news detail.
I have one like side news that's kind of
side
important.
news.
So,
all right, go ahead.
Side news. So it's not me playing. Is this a competition? So not me playing games personally, but we played Takes Two a couple months ago, right?
Yeah.
It's almost been 2 months now. Wow. So what I found out at that same time was that my mother and stepdad have been playing through It Takes Two as well. And they've been playing for a few months. So when I talked with her recently, she finally told me where they were after playing it for a few months. And the answer was they're in the B level. In the Hive.
Yep.
They were stuck on the remember when we had the bees that were in the glass jars?
Yep.
And then there was the one with the mortar.
Yeah.
Remember that one? Yeah, that's where they were stuck for the last little while.
Okay.
So anyways, when she recently was visiting, I got it on my PS4, and because we were playing on PC, so I didn't have it on PS4. So I got it on my PS4, and they're not giving up. They play a little bit at a time. They're not the greatest, but they're learning. And so we played it, and we kind of played through it since we knew the puzzles, and I was helping. We got up to that level pretty quickly. Because it's easier once you've done it and you know how it works.
Yeah.
So we got all the way up there through the weird vacuum thing. That was creepy. It sucked the eyes out, and you got the toolbox, and so we made it up to the bees, and I showed her how to beat the bees and all of that, and we actually made it all the way up to Moon Baboon. And we played the first little bit of the Moon Baboon area. And I'm just saying Moon Baboon because Moon Baboon is really fun to say, and that's why I keep saying it. But in any case, they did that. So that was kind of cool that we managed to do all of that, and they're playing through it. And I got a text after she had gone back home that they had managed to clear that mortar bee finally.
Perfect.
And they're continuing to progress. So they I think the last I heard, they were just at that. Remember the jumpy area? You're in that blue mystical stuff, and we got to jump everywhere right before the fish, like the ghost fish.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a beautiful part. So that's where they are now. So that's my kind of side update. Yes, they're progressing. Prague.
Dope. Chili says not the bees.
Not the bees. The bees weren't too bad in hindsight.
No. So
anyway, moving on to news.
That's awesome. No, it's great. Like I'm excited because I know they played through Journey. So
they did Journey once.
So I'm glad they're trying something new, and this has a little more to it than Journey. So
just a little bit, yeah. It's definitely more complicated. You have to figure out the puzzles. You have to figure out the controls, and the controls change every level, so you have to relearn everything.
Yeah.
Especially for people who aren't gamers, who don't really game, and honestly, they have troubles. They can't really do the whole move your character and move the camera at the same time.
Camera time, yeah.
So that's difficult for them. So the fact that they're getting closer to this is pretty impressive.
Wait till
I taught her some tricks around it. So
where is it? Big small. That's gonna. Remember when I had to shrink and go big?
That's Moon Baboon.
That's Moon Baboon, yeah. But
we were doing it.
Yeah.
So we got through. Remember we only had to smack the planets around?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we did that. Oh, no. That's where we stopped. We stopped at that point. But we did a couple of the levels before that. So we got up to that point, and that was where we stopped.
God. It's such a good game. By the way, you can go watch that through that playthrough. It's on our YouTube channel.
I was playing your character, and she was playing the character that I played. So I got to try some new stuff out.
Yeah, he plays so differently.
Yeah, they both play different.
Yeah. Well, let's jump into the news.
There's a lot of news.
Yeah, there is details about the new Final Fantasy XIV letter from the producer live, part 67. It's happening Friday, November 5th at 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern, and have been revealed. It will include live interpretation from Japanese to English, which is great. There will be new information regarding crafters and gatherers, system-related updates, the new PvP, and other updates coming in Endwalker as well. This is also, I believe, they're gonna actually give us info on the Island Sanctuary during that stream as well. So that should be pretty interesting.
More interesting than PvP.
So we might be streaming. We'll keep an eye out for our notes. We might be streaming that live. So
we'll know
TBD.
by next week.
We'll know by next week. We will let everybody know. Hey, for our first time viewer. Hey, Kavir.
Welcome. Thank you for the follow.
Thank you for the follow. The Endwalker special site has been updated with introductions of the new threats from Anima to the Magus Sisters, as well as new details regarding the Myths of the Realm Alliance raid series, the Pandemonium high difficulty raid series, and small scale PvP. So I have to go check that out. I have not looked at it yet.
Neither have I. I'm actually keeping all of this I'm trying to take in as little information about Endwalker as possible, so that when I go into it, I'm going completely blind.
Yeah,
kind of fun. Aside from the live letter stuff.
Yeah, class information and job changes and stuff like that's pretty okay. Yoko Taro reaffirms the Voice of Cards. The Voice of Cards game is not linked to Drakengard or Nier. Producer note says Susan doesn't buy it. So
I know nothing about any of those three things. So.
Again, the Voice of Cards is a good game. It is not a card. It's a card game, but not a card game, and that's the best way to describe it. Mm-hmm. It's a turn-based RPG in the shape of cards, if that makes any sense.
Yep.
All right. The creator of Stardew Valley revealed details about their new project, Haunted Chocolatier. And the soundtrack is so chill. That's true, Susan. I listened to it right before we went live. And that is a funky beat. Is very good. Very good. I don't know. I guess Stardew Valley's done. I don't know if they're going to be I guess they're done with Stardew Valley. I guess it's got everything in it that they need.
I can see them adding patches and stuff in between, but yeah, I think they're onto a new game now.
Yeah. In a new teaser trailer for Pokemon Legends Arceus, a Pokemon professor dies and the internet is concerned about it. Oh my god. Well, Pokemon went there, I guess.
I mean, yeah. But also, to be fair, Pokemon's usually pretty chill, so it might look like they die, but possibly not.
Yeah, maybe come at the end and they're like, I was never dead. Chili says, yep, the video footage is someone being killed by a Pokemon. Oh no, he did. Chili says, oh no, he did. Man. Oh boy. All right, well.
We'll see how it goes.
Discuss. There's one piece of news that didn't make it, but I am going to comment on it because it is related to us in both games, oddly enough. So we've been known to play Terraria on this channel.
We have.
And we've been known to play Don't Starve on this channel.
Unfortunately. We are not good at that game.
So the creators
of Terraria, but
yeah. The creators of Terraria and the creators of Don't Starve, Clay and Relogic are doing their games got into each other. It looks like the Eye of Cthulhu will haunt inside Don't Starve, and the official beast, the Yeti, or the Force Beast will be inside Terraria.
I've seen that.
We have not come across it. It is a higher end, later game thing in Don't Starve. It will
Yeah, we
be
never got that
in,
far.
but it will be in Terraria as a boss, and I believe that the Eye of Cthulhu, and there was a little bit of teaser video of what those two things look like, and they were both creators of their games respectively teased at each other like, oh hey, there's something's not right. Like maybe we'll get it all sorted out next month. So next month in November, I'm suspecting there will be some fun stuff coming to both those games. Oh, also one more thing I'm adding off the rip. 2022. I'm just gonna announce it now because we've done every other single one, so I don't see why we wouldn't do this one too. We were here. We were here.
Oh, yep.
Is the lovely company behind those games is releasing We Were Here Forever, and that will be coming out in 2022. And you bet your bottom dollar that both of us will be playing through that game. And I don't know which one of us will live at the end, but I know that we will be playing it. So,
But so the question that you posed was like, which one of us will survive
Yeah.
if either?
uh-huh.
And my prediction on this is that it won't be which of us survives.
Mm-hmm.
Because it is We Were Here Forever, I feel like we're both going to get stuck somewhere
Oh no.
separate
No.
and just like forever be in this loop of some kind.
Well, great.
Yeah.
Oh, let's get it. I have no segue for well, here's some stuff that's forever. Job info. Is that a segue?
I mean, it's forever until the next patch.
There we go. Forever until the next expansion or patch. Endwalker Media Tour info dropped last week, and everybody went a craze looking at all the new job information. We are not going to talk about every job here. We are going to focus on the jobs that I think we found the most interesting, or at least the jobs that we are used to playing all the time. So that's going to be Dark Knight, White Mage, Sage, Reaper, and Summoner. So we're going to jump into those, talk a little bit about them, and what we like, what we don't like, and we'll go from there. So first on our list is the Dark Knight. I made a video about Dark Knight, and I did you watch my video? Did you check it out, or are you still?
I have not seen your video yet.
So
it's been a busy week.
I get it. You're on vacation. You're hanging out with your mom. I do not blame you. I will say Dark Knight did not get a lot of changes. We kind of gleaned that from the.
Mm-hmm. You got a couple new things.
We got a couple new things. And I made a video because I really did like look at those things. Like I really did look at them. I kind of studied them based on my rotation right now. Everything that the Dark Knight got is off global cooldown. So it's not in the hard rotation, but it is something stuff. Those are the things I would weave into my rotation. So the weave will change. I don't think it not like not changing. Okay, it's fine. I wish it had more of its identity. What I will say is that I'm okay with what it got because I don't think it's bad. Like Oblation is the new. I don't want to say it's the new Blackest Night because it's not the new Blackest Night. It is though. However, what I'm calling as a high skill ceiling shield for big damage. Like let's say, for example, if a boss is about to drop some heavy damage, right? And the Dark Knight know that they can just take it, or they can, I believe they still have Shadow Wall. They do. So let's say a Dark Knight can Shadow Wall themselves, because that's not something you can put on somebody else. But then you can use Oblation, because you get two of them. You could put them on both healers or 2 DPS,
right.
And then have the Blackest Night you could drop on a healer, right? So you have the ability on a high level Dark Knight to really like save people. And I mean like really like drop shields around it and be like, I'm gonna save the party. Like,
I mean, Dark Knight really just needs to save themselves.
Oh boy. So I got that, and it had, Delirium got the change to its to it, instead of being a cooldown, it's on a stack. Stacks, you get 3 uses of Blood Spiller or Quietus. just fine. That's a good change. Blood Weapon didn't change. I think that's still tight. I think other Dark Knights across the internet agree that the Blood Weapon's 10-second use is not super great. I would prefer like 5 charges that do more to get MP back. Because essentially what's happening is that the Blood Weapon GAT thing is so tight that you can miss it and not get all your MP back. And it's going to bite. And it's just going to be bummed. I'll be bummed out. So
did see a lot of people like were reacting to your video and weren't terribly impressed with the changes.
No, they're not. And either I'm not like unimpressed. I'm not mad about it. Like people, people on the internet are going to be big mad, and I get it. Like that's I'm not shocked, but I'm not worried either. Like
the internet being angry.
I know, shocking. It's like if you go to like the Final Fantasy Reddit, everybody's just big mad because everyone's like, you're Dark Knight.
The day that the subreddit is not angry would be the day that Final Fantasy is.
Even the forums, even the forums are just full of salt.
I mean, that salt seems pretty new, or it's pretty reasonable.
The salt seems pretty. No, the salt's always been there.
Yeah. I mean, there's a reason why we don't touch the official forums or Reddit generally.
Yeah, well, we don't tend to talk about them here too much. I go there, I just don't talk about them a lot. But it's okay. Like I'm here to tell a high level Dark Knights are gonna be like bummed out because they're not getting anything like really cool or too flashy. But whatever. It's gonna play the same. It was in an all right place before. I think it's gonna hit harder. The traits are really where it's at. I think Shadowbringers is a cool spell. I think Salted Earth or the new spell, Salt and Darkness, or where is it?
Yes, that's exactly where white mages are from, by the way. We are very salty.
I think. Oh no, I have the all right. Our producer linked me to the old job actions. Okay, that's fine. Or Gamerscape did. Gamerscape, you failed me. They did. So with that, it's fine. I think Dark Knight's it's going to be an okay place. I think they have the ability to change Blood Weapon post patch. Hopefully before raiding, I think it's going to be okay.
We'll see.
It's not going to be bad. I think at the end of the day, is it going?
At the end of the day, if you have to switch into a paladin, you switch to a paladin.
At the end of the day, no. I mean,
remember, Endwalker is the closing of the loop. You started with ARR, you went to Heaven's Word, you Stormblood, Shadowbringers, Endwalker. It closes the loop. You started as Paladin, you went to Dark Knight, Paladin. Right back to Paladin.
Chili
says Paladin.
Third pure healer.
Yeah.
Honestly.
And then Red Mage is the 4th pure healer. Dancer is the 3rd shield healer.
That's...
Actually, no, Dancer is the 4th shield healer. Dark Knight is the 3rd shield healer.
Yeah, that's right. There you go. Dark Knight, shield healer. Woo! Shield healer, go! Woo! So, yeah.
I mean, overall, I kind of feel the same a lot with the White Mage changes. There's not a whole lot for us to kind of do or change. We basically got a few updates to some of our existing spells, which is great, long overdue. We got one new spell at 80, which gives us kind of an AoE heal, which is kind of neat. And it kind of makes us think a little bit around like when we're raiding or when we're trying to think of how we're going to cast, we can drop this AoE and it'll automatically heal everyone around us. Now, how's that going to play into things? I think it's going to synergize really, really well with the shield heals now. With the shields. But it is going to be very interesting to see how these kind of work together. I think it's just going to make White Mage that much more powerful, but overall, is it going to change the playstyle of the class? Absolutely not. I think the really cool thing we got, and a lot of other people that were commenting on this that also agreed, is that we finally get Holy 3, which is confusing to many because we never got Holy 2, but we're getting Holy 3. And that's great because Holy, as Heals You has said, one of our friends, Holy 3 is like making your amp go to 11. Holy 2 would be setting it to 10. Yoshi P knows this and is a big fan of Spinal Tap. Just skip the 10.
Yeah,
skip Holy 2.
Just skip Holy 2, go right to 3.
Yeah, you got to go right to 3. Also kind of like the Holy Hand Grenade.
You're going to start counting.
Anyways. Yeah, except it's to 3.
I mean, is there anything on White Mage that you're excited? I mean, was there anything that you're like, ooh, that's the thing? Like, I mean,
yeah, I mean, like we get a little bit of extra DPS. We get a little bit extra healing utility. They didn't change anything with our Lily mechanics. They didn't give us an enhanced Blood Lily or anything. So there's not really anything. Effectively, like the way that Mage is going to be played will pretty much stay the same, I believe, in Endwalker. I don't think there's going to be any major changes, any major reworks. The class is basically as it is, which it was always a really strong class, so I'm not terribly surprised. One concern I have with it is that the way that they've kind of positioned Sage, like they do with a lot of these classes, is it seems really, really powerful, and it seems to be able to put out a lot high DPS potential, which I'm really looking forward to. But I feel like, it's going to end up being like the healer of choice for this, and then I would not be surprised if like Sage and White Mage end up being like the meta healer duo. Just because it would be a strong heal. Possibly Astrologian, not for like once Prague is kind of done, because Astro could probably bring a lot more support. But White Mage is going to be able to bring the DPS and the strong heals that we're going to need. That will kind of keep powering through for progression.
Well, see, I know we're not talking about Scholar, and I know you brought up like Sage being a key like go to, but they gave Scholar really good buffs, like party buffs that would probably be like I would think would edge out Sage for like world first people. I think that like for us and stuff for
I
trading,
don't think so.
Speed buff and damage buffs, like those two things are going to be like what anything that increases
I
damage.
still think a Sage
speed,
is going to be more impressive right now.
I think that if the overall, because the Sages aren't bringing those utilities, like if you can make your DPS do more damage, you're going to want to do that for world first versus a Sage. Which, although a Sage can do DPS and heal, but you're saying, hey, I'm buffing the people that do the most damage. So, I think Scholars are going to still be in play. I really do.
I think it'll be in play, but I still think that Sage is going to, especially because it's a new class and those tend to be more powerful than
popularity. Yes, I agree.
Others.
But I think
even not in popularity, like I think it's going to be a stronger class out the gate.
We'll have to see. I don't know. I think Scholar's got some tricks up its sleeves. I think because even in watching like Mr. Happy and Larry Zor's videos on these two things, even like they've both pointed out like, hey, like maybe it just didn't get enough time in the spotlight during the live letter, but it still got some oomph. So
I don't think that Scholar is going to be anything like I don't think there's going to be any issues with Scholar necessarily. I just don't think it's going to be the class of the month.
Oh no.
Right, like the Sage is a new job. It's relatively powerful from what it looks like. Its kit looks really, really good. It looks like it's going to have a high skill ceiling, so it means you'll be able to learn how to play it. And once you figure that out, you can go far with it. It's going to bring both DPS and heals to the team. So I feel like it's going to probably have the main place in raid situations. And like Chili points out in chat, they always overtune new jobs. So at least for the next little while, I feel like Sage is going to be like the top of the top. Everyone's going to be leveling Sage. Everyone's going to have it. Having a non-Sage healer is going to be a little bit more rare.
I don't disagree. I mean, we have a Sage in our raid group. I know.
I mean, I'm gonna be probably maining Sage after I complete the MSQ as a White Mage, and the only reason why I'm not being a Sage is because we already have one existing. So yeah, I feel like it's gonna be a very interesting class.
And everybody's talking about Pepsis being like, it's the meme thing already. Like everybody's talking about Pepsis. So. And when it gets nerfed, it's going to be Diet Pepsis. So No, not not good.
Is Coke okay?
You know what? For technically, the sage is technically like very like medical, and it's a lot of like physics and holus and prognosis. I mean, who says that this doctor wouldn't prescribe cocaine?
I mean, they have the whole Eurekan versions of everything.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like so another thing here, like to learn in chat here. Also posted a comment earlier about I'm much more excited about Scholar's Expedite skill because seeing the new dungeon, it feels less like they're throwing us Scholars a bone and actually giving us a valuable tool in our toolkit. Movement seems a lot more important. And I think that will be important to some degree. We already kind of have movement kits. Like I still feel like the Scholar's Expedite skill will probably be somewhat useful, but I feel it's kind of almost a cop-out too. Like it is the only in combat movement skill we have, more or less, aside from sprint. But like in between and stuff, yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it goes because they also can't really tune around it because they are the only class that has it, and they can't, of course, require that. But yeah, it'll be interesting to kind of go through and see how that
Chili's
comes
like, you move a lot in boss fights, and then Susan says, "Thank goodness I don't play Black Mage anymore."
Yeah, no, I agree. I don't like Black Mage either.
And Chili says it gives you damage reduction too, which is nice. So it's like I said, I think there's a lot of utility for Scholar wasn't on our list, but hey, Scholars getting mentioned. But again, it's going to come down to what it's the flavor of the month, right? Like it's the new shiny job, all right, and that happens every expansion. Like, ooh, what's the new thing? Let's play with that. I know just by like looking at Sage, and I will say this, like just how by looking at Sage, it kind of reminds me of Disc Priest from World of Warcraft, and not in terms of like spell names and stuff like that, but Disc Priest was
even playstyle. I feel like it's different from a Disc Priest still.
I think so as well, but it like how it's like I'm doing damage to heal, they like that.
I mean, at that surface level, yes, but I mean,
but that interests me.
I don't. It does. Like that's my ideal playstyle. I really like that concept. I don't like how Disc Priest was implemented.
Oh no.
And I kind of feel that the implementation of Sage is a lot better in that regard. From what I read, and it does look to have a high skill ceiling with the way that you can toggle different stances almost with the whole Eurekan spell version stuff.
Yeah.
So I am looking forward to trying that. It looks like it could be relatively complicated at first. So we'll see how that all kind of plays out. But it looks like a lot of fun, a lot of power, a lot of utility within your class. Not so much for other people, but yeah.
I just like the names. Like there's some of them that sound gross though. Like
it's Eurekan based.
Well, Phlegma doesn't sound great. I mean, it's fine.
That's why you cast it on the enemies.
Doctor says I got Phlegma.
You really get that checked.
I did. It's told me to put cream on it.
Okay, so I know one thing that a lot of people, like we were really, really excited about this in the trailer. A lot of people that commented were also excited about this. People are really, really interested in summoners. Like we had Shantaman who's really interested in everything, but especially the summoner rework. We had actually, I think that might have been the only summoner comment. I swear I read multiple summoner comments.
I thought there were tons of summoner comments.
I thought there was. We might have had other comments elsewhere, but that's the only one that I'm coming up in my list here.
Maybe it's just me. Maybe it was my summoner comments.
Could have been. But yeah, like summoner has been getting a huge switch over. Like it's. I don't like summoner. I will put that out there. I do not like classes that have
pets. Yeah, you don't like pets.
I dislike Scholar for that reason, and I dislike Summoner for that reason. And a lot of people were really upset with the Scholar changes and the Summoner changes last expansion where you didn't have to micromanage your pet and found that limiting. I kind of enjoyed that because I don't like having to micromanage pets. However, the way that they kind of do the Summoner revamp makes me think I might try it again. I do have my Summoner at 80. Because like Summoner in itself, it feels kind of almost like Elementalist from Guild Wars 2, which was my original main in that game. And it is a very interesting way to play that class, and it doesn't require you to micromanage that pet either. It gives it a much more unique play style than spread 'em dot.
That's my favorite kid game from back in
Dot, dot,
childhood.
dot, spread 'em?
For dot spread 'em. Well, I grew up in a bad neighborhood.
I'm sure that's going on the show title list now. So like, yeah, like I feel like that's going to be a really interesting class. It's making me want to try it at least. So that's going to be a bit of a difference. I think another interesting point that was brought up in a few people was some of the changes that they're making to classes as a whole. And the one that a couple of people brought up was Dragoon. Like Tarn was saying, like Blood of the Dragon being a trait, I think that is going not to scare as many people away from trying Dragoon. As it is, Dragoon is one of the more complicated melee rotations, and them easing that burden a bit is a net plus for the community. Along the same lines, Viriel?
Viral, yeah.
Vi. Yeah, sorry if I mispronounced it. Also said, like, a player due to physical limitations was severely limited on jobs. So like people who have issues with their hands or their wrists, or maybe can't play for long periods of time, or have used controllers. And hard rotations, kind of like Dragoon, Monk, things that are fast, spammy, have a lot of off GCD abilities. It's really, really hard to play when you have those sorts of limitations. And with some of the changes that they're making to make this a little bit easier, with the removal of like hard timers for DPS windows and such, it's making these classes more playable for a lot of different people, and being able to play jobs like Dragoon and Monk or Bard, where you don't have to be quite so fast or so on your buttons is kind of a really nice accessibility point. And on a similar line, like not so much with the Dragoon side, but Tibian was also making a point about Gunbreaker having the same sort of effect, where he was really happy that as a Gunbreaker main, they condensed the continuation combo because it frees up room as a controller player. It also concerns him a bit because he doesn't want them to oversimplify like the full PvP style hotbar route. Not that I personally think that would be any bad, but I think that it's a good point to bring out, because like the simplification of a lot of these abilities, especially when it's constant like combo spam, really doesn't add anything to the class if you just have to hit hotbar 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3. If you can just hit 1 1 1 1 1 1 1, it's basically the same thing.
Yeah.
So I kind of welcome this, and I think if that is the direction that they go, I don't think that's necessarily bad. But I do like some of the options with, like, say, Dragoon, where you have two separate combos like that like there's still a combo set of 3, but you don't have to quite dedicate 6 buttons to 2 combos, which will help a lot, I think, with classes.
And button bloat, especially because like as we like, not now but next expansion, or like like for summoner, I know that a lot of the buttons change because it depends on what primal you summon out and everything like that. And from my understanding is that it's a lot simpler to play. Like you could do really bursty damage because they reworked the whole thing. And I think it's because they had all these years of creating jobs now that they're like they can go back to the older jobs and be like, how would this rework, right? How could we rework this?
Yeah.
So
like Summoner.
Yeah, Summoner, yeah. Even Paladin, like Paladin's got changes that make it, they made a lot of changes to Paladin, how Paladin plays now and going to be playing. Still easy to kind of pick up and learn, but does a very high end. This is why, like, my hopes for Dark Knight for the next expansion is that it gets a complete rework. I think Dark Knight just needs an identity change and a little bit of identity back. Like, I'm okay with like the Shadow Friend and all that stuff. I just need a little bit of like rework, because I think it's just a carbon copy of Warrior, and that's not what that's not Dark Knight. So and Reaper is, boy, that's going to be the class that we see all over the place.
I was like, considering that you are a Dark Knight main and you don't have any DPS classes that you level, even though you sometimes want to pull out and say, I have a samurai.
I have a samurai.
Yeah. What level is that?
It leveled up. It's like
62. Oh,
No, it's like
that's
67.
slightly higher.
Yeah, it's a little higher. Yeah, it's getting up there.
So, given that
Slowly
you
but
still haven't hit
surely.
Shadowbringers levels,
No, I have not.
with your Samurai 2 expansions later, do you have plans to play the Reaper first of all, and do you think you would make that your main DPS class?
My main DPS class. Yes.
Yeah, it's exactly like a Dark Knight. It's got a Dark Friend.
Yeah,
it's got shields.
Yeah, it's got
jump.
a shield. Honestly, yeah. It's not so much the aesthetic. It's more how the style of melee plays. I like the way it plays. It has a lot of buttons, which I'm okay with. Dark Knight's got a lot of buttons. So, and I like that I got to manage something. Like that's my favorite part about Dark Knight is managing my MP. So I know that all the jobs have something to manage, but this actually does have like a gauge you really do have to manage in order to like really get the use out of it, to like be in that merged form as much as possible. So, and
that's the nice thing about DPS classes. You don't have to deal with mana usually.
Yeah.
Casters do, but
so I want to try, but again, I also want to try Sage. Like I'm not normally a healer, but Sage looks interesting to me. So, you know, I'd be down to get that going and see how it works out. So Chili just said in chat, just think when Endwalker drops, you can buy your Amaro amount due to the job boost. Yeah, you said only $400.
I mean, it's going to be close to that because there's what, like 16, 17 classes, and the job boosts are like 20, $25 each.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Susan's going to be continuing as a dancer main, but we'll try out Reaper. I'd actually be really interested if you decided to switch to Reaper as a main.
If for Susan, and Susan can tell me I'm wrong in chat, she will. I think for Susan, it's about not like necessary simplicity, but comfortability in a class. And I think she's comfortable playing dancer, and it has a lot of movement that can get her out of stuff.
We also don't know what Reaper looks like yet. We can
sort of
guess,
do. But I mean, people didn't have like a lot of time, so as you know, as people play this on a large scale with a lot of people moving in these dungeons and such. Yeah. And the trials,
and as people understand it and figure out, it will be changed.
Yeah. She says I like easy. So.
I mean, I think it would be really funny if you made Dark Knight, she made Reaper, and you just the emo you had the emo group going on.
The edge couple.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy, well, don't call us. We're edging over here. Wait, don't.
No.
Nope. Nope. Not. The
edge is calling tonight.
So Chili said, my sad face. Chili said, he's my sad face is the fact I was able to try all these cool new things, but now I've got a month without these cool things. Actually, I think at the time Chili made this, it was a month, but now it's less than a month. So Chili, guess what? You have less than a month to wait now. So congratulations on.
It's 1 month until not early access.
It's exactly.
Tomorrow.
So. Chili.
For the record,
the
question that Susan asked was, what excited you, confused you, interested you, made you make a sad face?
Yeah.
That's why Chili answered my sad face.
My sad face. Yeah. Not that Chili's face is sad. He's actually pretty jovial, but yeah.
Also, shout out to Anonymous. Because he's still with us in the show in spirit.
Yeah.
As the other person in the Google Doc that we're reading.
Oh, is he?
You are known in the Google Doc as Anonymous Moose.
That's great. Anonymous, always here. Never forget. Reaper, man. All right, so I pulled up, I guess. Reaper's spells are fantastic. It's just got one called Hell's Ingress. I mean, this is really, they really went all out for this class. Void reaping, cross reaping. I mean, everything's reaping.
I mean, to be fair, they are called the Reaper.
Grim Swath. Unveiled gallows. Unveiled gallows. Gibbet. So I mean, there's a lot to like about this. Like, I like that, you know, you build up your blue bar to use your red bar, you know, sort of situation.
Honestly, the thing that I'm looking forward to a lot with Reaper is the Lalafell Reapers.
Tiny scythes.
Yeah. Just going at your ankles.
No, they cut that Achilles tendon. That's it. It's game over. You ain't moving.
Mm-hmm. Oh no, they're gonna be deadly. It's just gonna be really funny seeing some baby Reapers.
Little baby Reaper rolling around named like little Eddie Gein. I'm like, oh no.
Unfortunately, the top DPS Reapers are going to be from the East US.
What? Why?
The Carolinas.
All right. Susan says Jesse Cox has his Reaper clam ready for little JC.
Susan and Chad's just like, oh no,
geez.
why?
Oh, jeez.
I'm gonna get yelled at for that one after.
Jeez. Boy. So that's what I really, I mean, this is what I'm excited about. Like, I'm excited about the classes. I think there's some cool changes. Ninja. I didn't even think about Ninja, how they're changing Ninja. But you know, like, if we remember correctly, you don't have to remember your. I can just open it up.
Yeah, I hate Ninja because I don't remember all of the ninjutsus, the Yatsu, and all of those different things. But yeah, I'm actually looking forward to it, and I might try to level my Ninja in Endwalker because it is kind of a cool class. You get to be very anime, and I don't have to remember these things.
You don't. That's it.
So yeah, I might actually be able to play.
Now I wonder if they'll get rid of the bunny that pops up on the head. I guess not, because I guess you could still, like, if you really wanted to, like, mess up a thing for a picture, you could
yeah,
you know.
I think they should have that one way or the other, even if it's like a little ability that's just like summon bunny or something.
Why, honestly, why is that not a thing? Why is summon bunny not a thing?
They have summon frog.
They well, you mean Toad Rogue?
Yeah.
Toad Rogue. Is there any, I mean, so I know it's not on our list of things, but you know, for our raid group, you're going machinist.
I think I'm going to try out machinist for this. I do enjoy the machinist class that I've been kind of leveling lately. I'm not sure if I will stick with it. I will probably move around to stuff based on what our group will need. I could potentially fill in as the white mage because I'm familiar with that as well. But yeah, I think I'm going to try out some DPS this round, and we have a dancer already. I'm not a huge fan of Bard anymore, but machinist is a lot of fun, and it is a mobile class, which I am very pro movement. Don't like that casters are not. So I think I want to kind of try that out and see how it plays.
I mean, you get a gun that shoots chainsaws.
And plagues and fire.
And fire. Yeah, and magic bullets. You get kind of everything, honestly.
Magic bullets, yeah.
Magic bullets. Yeah, you get a automaton that got an upgrade, a new look.
Yep, the queen.
The queen, yeah.
Yeah. I got it to 80 now too, and it's got some gear, so we're gonna try it out and see how it kind of plays. And if we decide, hey, this doesn't fit into our group, we want to try something else, then I will try something else. We'll just kind of go from there.
Perfect. Was there any other classes that you kind of looked at? I mean, you used to play Bard. Did any of the Bard changes interest you in anything?
I didn't look at the Bard changes, to be honest. There was some things that kind of look interesting with it based on the trailer that we saw, but there's a lot of changes to Bard that made me not as interested in playing it, and I haven't really kept up with it a whole lot, so I don't know as much about how like current Bard plays. It wasn't a really good comparison there for me. I do know some like career Bards, people that play Bards that will continue to play Bards are really excited for the changes. So it sounds like they've got some cool stuff coming up. But yeah, I know nothing about Bard otherwise.
Yeah, I know that I just couldn't think of it. I know that Monk to me like kind of looks cool. It's also getting a Final Fantasy VII move. It's not called Star Shower, but it is Star Shower. So it's the same animation from Final Fantasy VII Remake, the same one. So it's
reuse, recycle.
That'd be perfect. Good. Let's use it.
We already got the reduce with the stat shrink.
Yeah, and I'm okay with the Monk changes. Monk looks like it's speedy. Chili even says Monk is so much more fun, so that's good. I mean, Monk always seemed like a class that had a lot of potential to be like very fast paced and you could do a lot with it, but it was like for some reason very complicated. Now I feel like they've decluttered it. So I just say like Summoner. I think Monk's not getting talked a lot about because Summoner's changes are so good.
That's fair, yep.
So, and Chili's saying Monk got some old moves back with Steel, Peak, and Howling Fist. Chakra is now level 15 instead of 60. See, I think that's great. I think, I'll always go back to Dark Knight. I think Dark Knight needs a rework. I think Dark Knight needs a lot of changes. So I will always go back to that. I mean, before we start to get out of here, I mean, is there anything you'd like to see? Would you like them to change anything about White Mage going into another expansion?
I think I want to see. I want to wait and see how Sage kind of plays out, because I think there's a lot of cool elements and aspects to Sage. White Mage to me is a very straightforward class to play, so I find it almost boring. It's very powerful. You can kind of walk in, and once you kind of know what you're doing, you don't need to worry about healing so much. You have a lot of utility to go in and do emergency healing if needed. You have a lot of group heals, a lot of single heals. You can save a raid group pretty quickly if needed. And at the same time, you have a decent amount of DPS for a healer. And even compared to some DPS, like you can put out some good damage. So the only complaints I have generally about White Mage is that it is a very straightforward, simple healing class. So it's not necessarily the most entertaining class to play. Which in some cases is really good because it allows you to focus on other things. I think, like for example, raid leading, if you have to make callouts or you have to pay attention to stuff, White Mage is nice because you don't have to pay attention to your class so much. And you can pay attention to the mechanics. But aside from that, like, yeah, I think it's just a lack of entertainment when you're playing, kind of.
I get it. I understand.
I mean, even Dark Knight is a little bit more engaging. Like Dark Knight has a few more abilities. You have your management stuff you have to deal with. I have to manage mana, which really means every now and then I just have to cast Lucid Dreaming, and continue spamming Holy.
Yeah.
So
I get it.
Yeah, or Glare. But yeah, I feel like that's kind of where we are right now.
Yeah. So Chili says.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Chili first.
Yeah,
I want
Chili.
I want to see how broken Brotherhood is at 90, because now it gives 100% chakra for every weapon skill or spell used by the party instead of 80% and from the weapon skill only. That's actually pretty great.
Yeah, and Susan says that she's been very casually leveling White Mage just to level up a healer, and was in a very low dungeon roulette and had noticed that she was top DPS in the group. Which honestly, yeah, that's not uncommon.
Was it me? Honestly, if it was me on my samurai, I don't blame you.
I do. Samurais can put out some good damage at that level.
They
too.
can.
As can machinists.
So
yeah. I mean, Susan says that she's never top DPS as a DPS, but I can say that that's factually wrong.
That is factually wrong. Yeah, that is factually wrong.
I have proof.
Yeah, I also have proof. So,
But anyways, yeah, like so with all these changes and stuff, like I know you're gonna still be maining Dark Knight. That's not gonna change. There's some change. There's some things that you're not impressed with, but you're hoping things will kind of to play out. But if you weren't gonna play if you weren't playing a Dark Knight or had to pick a second class this round, out of all the classes that you kind of have seen so far, what would you think you would have as the second main?
if I had to have like a second main that I was gonna go like lean back on,
Yeah,
if I wanted to
could be
stay
another tank.
if I wanted to stay in the tanking realm, I'd probably go warrior. I feel like the skills that I know on Dark Knight would transfer well over there. Kind of plays the same. And two, I already have the gear for it. I think that would be the easiest transition.
Like entertainment wise, like which one would you
entertainment wise, Reaper. I think Reaper. I think because to me Reaper plays a little like, or I shouldn't say plays. I haven't actually had my hands on it yet, but to me it looks like it plays a lot like Demon Hunter did in World of Warcraft, like a lot of like high speed in and out.
Minus the jumpy.
Yeah, minus the jumpy. But I like that. I like the concept of like, you know, the minion, or not the pet, because it's not a pet, but like the demon that you have to like build up and do damage with, and then to absorb it, and so yeah. Susan said spook friend. So oh boy, I'll read that in a second.
Yeah, I was saying you're gonna address that one.
Yeah, I will address that one. But Dark Knight, you know, Dark Knight's getting more buttons, right? Like, and Dark Knight has a lot of buttons to hit right now. Like in its double weave currently, like Dark Knight has a lot of buttons to hit if you really want to. And you know, I'm not tooting my own horn, but you know, people here have ran with me and know that I can easily hit that Dark Knight weave because my opener does very high damage. So now that I have more of stuff to hit on that weave and new things to play with, can't wait. And like I said, a lot of the things they're adding to all these classes come in the form of traits, not necessarily buttons, but like adjusting the potencies of things, especially. And we didn't look at potencies. We didn't talk about that. We're not dumb. Like that's gonna that's all can change. I mean, that could be more or less, you know, depending on by the time he gets to Endwalker. So, how am I gonna say this name? I'm gonna say it's Vi.
Vi.
It's Vi.
Yeah, it's Vi.
Speaking as the person Vi that you personally forced off Dark Knight to Warrior, I can confirm they are very similar. I did not force. I just did not have another tank. So.
Are you forced?
And so no, it's just. So and then Vi says, to be fair, you were better than me. I just like giving you crap for it. That's also true. So
Peter is not a one job man. He used to play Paladin.
That's true.
The one and a half job man, maybe 1.25.
1.5. That Paladin's sitting pretty at like 60 something.
Oh, you actually passed 50?
Oh yeah. I mean, I had to get into Aventord. So
yeah, which would have got you to 50.
Yeah. No, I mean, I had to get to 50.
You just had to unlock Ishgard.
Yeah, I just had to get Ishgard. So,
damn, Susan's fast.
Yeah, Susan is fast. No, I don't. I mean, not through you.
I don't want to be famous. That's bad.
Oh.
Wait, as Chili says, wait, isn't that what the main character from Final Fantasy IV did? Went from Dark Knight to Paladin? I don't know, but if we look at the Final Fantasy XIV lore, they went from, what was it? Bard to Warrior to
Holy Knight,
Dragoon to Monk.
Yeah, pretty much everything.
To Samurai. To
I think hit them all up, honestly.
Nope. There's what's the next one? Dark Knight. And then Paladin.
Yeah. So Canon and Walker
brings Shadow.
Final Fantasy. Oh boy.
Yeah.
One brings Shadow. One brings. This is why Dark Knight's got Shadowbringers as a spell. And thanks for coming to our TED Talk about classes.
One brings Shadow. One brings the light.
2 tone echoes. Yeah. Yep.
I'm going through time.
Did I ever talked about what I was drinking over here? I'm so sorry.
Neither did I.
I had
I'm
hot
done all
cider.
of my drinks.
I have hot cider and cold cider. Also, you would love this. Real
Ooh.
quick, chat. We're gonna talk about
Drink time.
yeah, I have Blake's Hard Cider Company, Apple Lantern, which is roasted pumpkin hard cider, and it's really good. That's
Ooh,
the
that
cold.
sounds good.
And I actually we went my job, my department. We went to a pumpkin patch / apple orchard, and I got fresh apple cider.
Nice.
And
That sounds good.
Susan warmed some up before the stream started. So
I had my usual comforting tea, which is delicious. It's absolutely great. It is a mix of like black licorice, mint, or peppermint, and what was the other one? Like some fennel and some basil. It's
that
really
sounds
good.
great. Yeah, that sounds good.
It's delicious.
Yeah.
And then I was also drinking Virgil's handcrafted black cherry soda. All this is non-alcoholic, and it was really, really good.
Nice. Oh, Virgil's,
it tasted like black cherry.
Yeah,
Virgil's is good.
Virgil's good.
Like
Yeah,
I haven't
Virgil's
tried
good.
this one. I'm gonna try this. Like, oh, it's
Yeah,
good.
Virgil's good.
I usually have water. I just did not this time.
Yeah.
And after this, I'm gonna go get some pumpkin cheesecake. So
awesome. So I will not keep you much longer. Yeah. So it's like I said, I'm maining Dark Knight for the expansion and of course for raiding. Quinton's gonna try. Currently, he's gonna try Machinist, and if things change, something else. But you know, we have two spots open on our raid team with Gilgamesh. We Tuesdays and Sunday nights.
healer and a melee DPS. I think,
pure
right?
healer,
Pure
healer,
not a
healer
shield.
and melee DPS. So if you want to reap, you got well. Did someone call Reaper? I gotta check. No one's called it yet. So no one's called dibs.
We'll have to see.
Anyway.
In more important news, if you haven't been following our Twitter, you should definitely check out our Twitter account because so far we are up to 20 days and 20 frogs and 20 jobs with our frog jobs.
Frog jobs.
That just sounds dirty.
Frog jobs?
Frog jobs. Yeah, you want a frog job?
Nope.
Yeah. Anyways, we got a bunch of frogs in a thread. We have a bunch of Susan. I believe that is the wrong link for frog jobs, but
frog jobs.
We have a bunch of frogs and a bunch of jobs on Twitter. Go check those out. We are still posting them until the end of the month. Yes, anything sounds dirty if you do say it right. So go check those out. We've compiled a lovely list of various frogs and their Final Fantasy 14 jobs. But aside from that, next week we have our regular streaming schedule. So Monday, October 25th, Peter will be streaming Final Fantasy 14. Going back into Zadnor?
Yeah, finishing that up. So,
all right. Best of luck.
Thanks.
That will be, I believe, at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, or 2 a.m. British Summer Time, as are all the streams next week. We also have one on Thursday, October 28th, where we will be finishing, hopefully, Little Nightmares.
Yep.
And then following that, Friday, October 29th, we'll have episode 171, where I believe it's just us again.
It's just
We're
us.
gonna be chatting about stuff.
We're gonna be chatting. I think more about like some of the highlight from some people's interviews for the show. Should be. He did 32 hours of interviews. He gave people 32 hours.
A lot.
32 hours of his time, and there were some really good interviews. Like really good interviews. So.
Could you imagine being stuck in interviews for 4 days straight?
And I owe Chilia a Baconator because he asked my calendar question again and got an answer this time that was of proper what I would consider good answering. So
He's gonna have to come into come across the water.
Yeah. Well, it's fine. He wants to. He's really hyped for that Baconator. And then
blame him.
Also, next week is what would probably be a Halloween episode. So I show up.
Stay tuned.
Show up. Just show up. If you like Halloween, show up.
Who doesn't?
I'm saying, just show up.
So I would also like to
here.
point out that we currently have a competition per se going on. We are trying to get to 777 followers. We are currently sitting at just over 520.
Yeah.
So if we somehow gain this extra 250 some odd followers,
222.
We're getting closer.
Oh yeah.
If we get down to that 777 followers, to go along with our Team Whiskers group. By the end of this year, Peter is going to stream in a Kigurumi.
Yeah. Specifically,
It's
a
already-
Snorlax Kigurumi. It's already in there. Yeah.
So if you want to see this, please help us get to that goal.
Yep. That's where we're at, baby. That's where we're going. Well, thank everybody for joining us. Thank you to my co-host Quinton. Thank you, Susan Sprinkle, for helping put the show together. As always, we didn't do anything. Before we get out of here, we're going to be reading Croatoan from the XIV Light Party. And Crow did give us answered our question as well. What are you excited or confused or interested or made you a sad face? And Crow said, I'm terrible at meta, so I usually go with this is fun as a leading metric to my job choices. Gunbreaker still looks fun in Endwalker. And I think that's the best way to look at all the jobs, is that just play what you like. It should be fun, not about the DPS meter or the healing meter. Just play what you like. So with that, as always, thank you, everybody. Till sea swallows all, keep listening.
Maelstrom Radio is brought to you by maelstromradio.com and Blackfire Media. Produced by Flatus, Shintir, and Susan Sprinkle. Join us live Fridays, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern at twitch.tv/maelstromradio. Send email to show@maelstromradio.com, tweet us at maelstrom_radio, or join our Discord at maelstromradio.com/discord. Views and opinions expressed by our hosts and guests do not reflect the views and opinions of any companies discussed on today's show.